Thank you for joining us at the Guy Dawson Show at WCOBM.com, the World Center of Broadcast Media. I've been speaking with my good friend and fellow Toastmaster, Dr. Ernie Panza. Dr. Ernie, you are a prolific speaker, and I want to read a little bit off of this list here because I love this. You want to hire Dr. Ernie, and I'm going to tell you why. This is written to people who hire the speakers. If you want to hire a speaker with technical data and a lot of boring facts and figures, then you don't want to hire Dr. Ernie Panza. But if you want a speaker who will inspire and motivate the audience with stories, humor, and emotion, then you do want Dr. Ernie Panza. Will you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, yes. A lot of times people, with the more initials they have behind their name, and someone's going to hire a speaker, they look for that. They look for the PhD, and of course PhD just means piled higher and deeper.
That's the first time I ever heard that one.
But not all PhDs, but some. So anyway, you want to hire, to me, you want to hire a speaker that can identify with the audience. And I'll give you a real quick example. I used to live in Williamsburg, Virginia. I went to the Ramada every morning for a cup of tea and I read. The manager of Ramada was a friend of mine. And one day he came in, I was having my tea before I went to my office. Went to the gym, to the tea, and then to my office. And he said, I need a favor. And I said, what? He said, what are you doing at lunchtime today? And I said, anything you need. He says, can you come? He says, we're having a meeting here of all the Ramada managers in the state of Virginia. And our speaker backed out. Can you speak? I said, yeah. I went at noon. I did the talk. I had lunch. I was leaving. And I usually wear, when I speak, I wear Levi's and old red Reebok tennis shoes. That's my speakers. And usually a typical
I've seen
shirt.
those. I've seen those Reeboks before.
Yeah, because I've spoken around here before. So anyway, the head of the Ramada came out and said to me, look, he said, I run the Ramada in Virginia Beach. He says, I'd like you to come and do a seminar for us. And I said, I'd be glad to. He said, we set the time and everything up. I was walking out the door. He said, Dr. Panza, just a minute. I said, what's that? He said that when you come, he says, wear what you're wearing. He said, don't wear wingtip shoes or a suit. He says, because you're going to be talking to a great diversity of employees, from kitchen help to waiters to wait staff to managers, upper managers, whatever. And so that's what I do, and that's what I say. I can identify, and they feel like I identify with their employees. And as I said on the radio show yesterday, that I don't charge hotels or restaurants to speak, not dollars. What I do is I trade. I trade for rooms with hotels and food, or food with restaurants. And it works very well for me because I live a very I wouldn't say a mundane life, but I'm very happy with little. And I can have more if I want. Like I said, I made money when I bought and sold 9 homes in the mountains of Virginia, but I was smart enough to put it away. So I can speak for free to groups. Like most churches, I speak for free. If any church or minister out there wants a speaker, we can either pass the hat, or if we can't do that, I'll even speak for free. It doesn't make any difference to me. A friend of mine recently asked, why would I do that? And I said to him, Tom, for 50 years, I've been learning, studying, speaking, reading books, listening to tapes, meeting some of the best speakers in the world. Mark Victor Hansen's a friend of mine, Chicken Soup of the Soul. Wally Amos, as we talked yesterday, Famous Amos is a great friend of mine. The book I gave you, he and Sarah, his wife, sent me one of the quotes in the book. And I meet all these people, and I know all these people. Rocky Blau, Pittsburgh Steelers, great friend of mine. I have learned all this stuff. If it's in my head, and I'm not sharing it with anybody, what good is it doing anybody? So if people can't afford it, I'm going to do it for free. That's just the way it is. And if they can pay me something or a donation, that's okay too. But if I have it and I don't share it, I'm not helping anybody. As we said at the close of the show yesterday, the Dalai Lama and Gandhi are great people, and I think that they've done wonderful things, and I have stories about Gandhi. But the one thing that I use, if you call and you get my message on my phone, the last thing you're going to hear is the Dalai Lama said that to make the world a better place, there's only 2 things you have to do. One is help everybody you can, and if you can't help them, don't hurt them. I mean, what simpler thing can we do than that?
Is this the life that you pictured yourself having as a young person, or is this something that, well, obviously you've created it?
I created it. I thought it, and thoughts make your creation, because I really, truly, truly believe we can be, do, and have anything that we want. within reason. I can't, like I said yesterday, I can't go play basketball on a professional team at 73 years old and 5'4", but I can do other things and I can alter what I want. And this is the life that I live. My kids, some of my children, I have 5 children, 11 grandchildren, and my oldest grandchild is 22 years old, and my oldest daughter is 50 years old, and they think a little bit that I'm a little bit nuts, but I like the lifestyle. My brother told me the other day when I was driving here to Vegas from Jacksonville, Florida, where I live, he told me, he said, we were having breakfast, he lives in Louisiana, and he said, you qualify for a homeless veteran now. Because I live in my van sometimes, like I'm driving out here. Why stop and spend the whole night in a hotel? I just jump in the back, sleep for 4 or 5 hours. I came here in just over 2 days. I got here to Vegas from Jacksonville, Florida.
Really?
Yeah, and because I just, if I get tired, I sleep. If I want to eat, I stop. I live my own life. As long as I don't hurt anybody, I feel that I can live how I want. And I wanted to mention one thing, because we were talking about Kwan's book on when you were on the last segment. The new book that I've written, I wrote it because, again, helping people. And it was my granddaughter, Shanti, who had me kind of see the fact of it. And that was that one day I was visiting my son in Pittsburgh, and she came in the house after she got the mail, waving a credit card, saying, "Hey, look, I got a free credit card. I got a free credit card." I said, "Shanti, credit cards aren't free." So I started writing about credit cards and being in debt. Then I wrote a little bit in the book, then went into student loans, and then into some of these places that have a check cashing deal where the interest rate can be phenomenal. So what I decided to do, I said, well, if I know all this stuff and I'm not sharing it, why not share it? So what I did is I came up with an idea of a book, and it's called Debt Sucks, because it does. And there's
Yes,
a picture on it with George Washington going like this, like holding his head, like wow. And then I found thank you, Kwan. And then I found a private activity that people can join, and all I have to do is go to a website and see if they like it. And it's just cash and security.com. And it's a private activity that you have to be invited in. So anybody listening or watching, I'm inviting you to go to my website and take a look at it. If you like what it is, and you write in your name and phone number, it'll show. I'll contact you and ask you if you like it. And if you don't like it, there's no big deal. You don't have to do anything. To me, and for me, it works. It gives me extra cash, and it gives me time to play and have fun.
Such a great concept. Does it look like a granny's worst wig over George Washington's head? Oh my gosh, what a creation.
I think that the founding fathers of America would roll over in their graves if they recognize the amount of debt that we have in this country.
That is so true. We are debt-ridden, and people just have to start changing their ideas of what's important to them. It's not how much. No one on their deathbed ever said, "God, I wish I would have made more money," or "I wish I would have worked more hours," or "I wish I would have bought more things." Everybody on their deathbed would say, if they had a request, they would say, "I wish I would have spent more time with my family. I wish I would have loved people more. I wish I would have done things for people more." And that's what we're all about. That's what we have to be about. We have to be about gratitude, being thankful for what we already have, and we have to go about with forgiveness. And the main thing is we have to love each other. And when we get to that point, then we're okay. I'll close because I know we're done. But right now, what we need to do is we have to get to the point where we are to the point where we love things and use people. We have to get to the point where we love people and use things.
Dr. Ernie, you have some phenomenal programs, and I want the viewers to get in contact with you to seek out. You've got one for seniors that you touched on a little bit earlier. How can they get a hold of you to be a part of your workshops and seminars and lectures?
My phone number is 727-560-3355. My website is just drpanza.com. My email is drpanza@drpanza.com. And the other website about cash and security, it's just cashandsecurity.com.
Dr. Ernie Panza, thank you so much. We've had 2 wonderful days together, and I know you'll be back in town, and we'll be having you come back through here to talk about something.
And if you or anyone else comes to Jacksonville, Florida, look me up.
Oh, boy. I'll be in the South end. Well, I'll wait until after July. Maybe I'll come in December. Thank you all for tuning into the Guy Dawson Show. We look forward to seeing you next week. Take care of yourselves. Say bye, Kwan.
再见，下次见。See you again, everyone. Thank you for your support and watching us.
Thank you, Guy.